So Andrea Covolo works for the National MS Society. She's the manager of program implementation and engagement. So she's actually the one who coordinates these self-help group programs. So if you have any questions for her, if you want to just say something about yourself as well, Andrea, to give them some idea of what is it you do and you know, what kind of questions should they ask you?
Yeah.
I haven't figured this out.
Thanks for inviting me. I've been meaning to get my way out there once I took over that area, but it's just timing never works out. So this is a good way to actually connect and touch base.
Where are you?
I'm based out of Modesto, and I actually cover the entire central chunk of California. So I go from Lodi to Bakersfield, and then I do border to coast, basically. So a very large territory, and many support groups, and then which I do coordinate and manage. And then also, like Eva said, I also do all the programs, the educational programs and social programs. There hasn't really been anything in the Santa Cruz Capitola area, but that's just, it kind of is based on population. They tend to have us do the programs where there's more population, like San Jose or something like that. So anyways, I've been here for about 5.5 years, and absolutely love my job. People living with MS are just the kindest, nicest, most down-to-earth people, and so I truly enjoy meeting everybody and doing these programs for you and helping out in any way we can. I know these are really tough times for everybody, and everybody's dealing with a variety of things in their lives that have been changed or canceled, or, you know, the fear of catching the virus, et cetera, et cetera. So we're in a really weird time. I was on a walk yesterday thinking, I can't believe I'm living through a pandemic. We've, you know, read about the pandemic, 1918, but this is crazy that we're actually living through a pandemic. So the society is here for you all, and, you know, we try to help in any way we can, depending on, you know, what you need and what our resources have. But I can just kind of open it up to questions. If you have questions about the society, about the current crisis and how it relates to MS, or, you know, whatever you guys would want to ask me, I'm here.
So what kind of programs are available, like in San Jose, you know, which is probably our closest area, Santa Clara?
So I do about maybe 1 or 2 programs per like city within my territory. So San Jose has about, if you were to look our fiscal year runs October through September. So in that 1 year, we would have done about 3 programs out there. 2 are social programs. 1 is like a holiday party. And I have had someone from the Santa Cruz area come to that a few times. And that's just a social party with food and just fun social time. We also do a bocce ball, which is another social event at the bocce ball courts in Los Gatos, and another social event. Then we do some educational programs. Last year we did one called Pathways to a Cure, where we brought all the latest research from ECTRIMS, the European Consortium on MS, and then also CMSC, which is the same kind of research conference in the United States. All the latest research on cures and MS. And we bring in a doctor from like Stanford or UCSF, and they do a presentation. This year I'll be doing another one in July in San Jose, and that one is called Pathways to Wellness. And it will have some experts there, and it'll be a presentation on the latest studies in exercise and how it relates to MS, and also suggestions on what to do to live your best life living with MS. And that's coming up, like I said, in July. We do have a calendar, a Northern California calendar online, and you can go onto that and check to see what events are coming up, and then you can register actually online. There's also information for an 800 number to call if you don't want to register online. And then we had a marriage retreat there a couple months ago also, and that was really fun. It's just tips and tricks on how to nurture your marriage or any partnership living with MS, because sometimes MS can kind of throw a wrench in your relationship. So that would be kind of a summary of what we've done this year in the San Jose area.
All right. And are any of those educational programs ever offered online?
Yeah, the Pathways to a Cure was done as a Facebook Live event also. We do have, our website is, I don't know if any of you have gone to our website, it's full of resources. And actually on our website is a link to that actual Pathways to a Cure Facebook Live event. And I can send you the link.
I've been to several of the events and they've been great. And I get emails now inviting me, which is nice.
Great.
Oh,
How far do you live from San Jose area?
I'm in Santa Cruz. So
Okay.
it's, I would say it's 30 to 40 minutes. It depends on
Okay.
traffic.
Okay.
Not bad.
Okay. They do, because when we do our marketing for our programs, they pick a geographic area. They tend to do it if you're within 60 miles of a program. So I'm glad to hear that you're actually getting some of those, because we do send out postcards and we send out emails.
Yeah, I get those too. And I think I've been to one in Monterey.
Awesome. And I did, yeah, what did you attend in Monterey? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember which was which, but that might have been one about treatments also. I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I have done a few things in Monterey, not as many, but good. I'm glad you're attending, and I'm glad you're getting the marketing for them to let you know what's going on.
is everybody here getting the like MS newsletters and stuff? Okay. Okay, because I'll be good.
The Connection, is that the name of it? Something like that?
Yeah. That's the MS Connection. Comes out once every 3 months. And then once a month, we have something that goes out that it's called a services email. And it's from the MS Society, and it highlights some of the programs that are in the area. Every once in a while, we do send out an email specifically for a program, but that's only if I have low registration. Typically, anything I do in San Jose actually books out with a wait list usually, so they don't do any extra marketing, but you know, it's looking at that MS Connection. If you're registered with us and we have your correct address, you should be getting the MS Connection quarterly. And it comes in a little like a cellophane pack with the Momentum magazine.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I wondered why I got that.
Now, yeah, obviously everything is canceled through June.
Oh,
So,
wow.
so if you get that and you read it, you're going to have to refer to our calendar online to get the accurate information on it.
Okay.
Yeah, we're completely shut down. All 800 of us are working from home. Everything is canceled. That would be in person. Does anybody have questions about the virus and MS, or
I actually
I
do.
Okay.
I was curious, and it's okay if you don't know this one, but how is Tysabri, how does that, I know that like with, is it all Crevis or whatever, however it's pronounced, that they're suggesting you not get treatment. So is there any updates on how Tysabri is working with that?
I will forward to Eva this. We've created a web page, and whatever the most current information is out there on coronavirus, we're putting it in there. And it updates, you know, whenever we receive information. That's the best place to go. I know there's a lot of questions about medications. Some doctors and some infusion centers are stopping treatment and saying hold off. It's interesting because I listened to, it was a MS 101 webinar yesterday from 2 MS doctors, and they said continue with your medications because they don't want to stop your MS treatment. So there's a lot of information out there, and I'll send this, like I said, to Eva, and you guys can read it, read the latest information, and then kind of make your decision based on that. I know some infusion centers are just closing because everything is shutting down. That's not considered essential.
They're moving the personnel to help prepare for.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so
my infusion center is still open, thankfully. And I'm getting my treatment on Monday.
Okay. I can't remember
Of course.
what they said about Tysabri because there's so many out there, but I'll pull up this most recent newsletter and see if I can find something, and then I'll send it to Eva and she can forward to all of you.
Awesome. Thank you. And then
sure.
I thought I saw something about this particular virus, and this might just be sensationalization, which is why I'm asking, about it having some fun with the central nervous system. And since MS also has fun with the central nervous system. How are we at a greater risk? Have we been losing folk? Have our team members been going down?
I've actually had 0 reports of anybody living with MS that has died because of coronavirus. Not to say that it hasn't happened. You know, if you're in the general population, you're going to be part of the general population. Right. But we're not actually hearing any kind of reports. In this webinar I listened to yesterday with these 2 MS experts, basically they said MS is not a condition that's affected by coronavirus. You are exactly the same as the general population in terms of your level of risk. So MS itself is not a contributing factor to any suffering a worse course of the disease, or the coronavirus. You know, there's a lot of questions about medication and what that does. And then also if you do have comorbidities, like, you know, diabetes, high blood pressure, asthma, lung disease, you could be affected, but that's the same as the general population still. So MS is not a risk factor for being more susceptible or having a worse course. Which I thought was comforting and reassuring. It's, you know,
it is.
It's not on that list of things. And in terms of it affecting someone's nervous system because of MS, I have not heard that at all. And so I would tend to say it's not true, but you know, you never know. The best thing that I would say to do is whatever the MS Society publishes is information that has been vetted. And if something is coming down the pike that we've heard, not to say that it's not true, but the MS Society has not vetted it as accurate information. So sometimes you got to hang tight and see if it does show up on our page. But if it doesn't show up on our page, it's not true and it doesn't exist.
I had a kind of related question. I'm on ocrelizumab, the Ocrevus, and as well as just with any medicine, I'm wondering, for instance, I have a friend with a kidney transplant and they're publishing information on how people who've had kidney transplant and are on immune suppressants are handling the virus. And I'm wondering if there's any sort of registry for the medications to say how people on a given medicine have been handling it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know that there's a registry. I don't know. I can't really actually answer that question. I'm going to guess that if you were like admitted for coronavirus, they would review your medications. And at that time, they would discover that you're living with MS. You know, I don't know if that goes into a registry or what. So yeah, I can't really answer. I don't want to give any answers I don't know.
Sure. No, I guess, I'm considering that I am somewhat immune suppressed just because it monkeys with the immune system.
Yeah, Ocrevus I do know is one that is on that list.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's hard to figure out because, you know, where are you in age? Where are you in any kind of the comorbidities? But yeah, I do know that Ocrevus is one of the drugs on that list.
Yeah.
Some MS drugs are not immunosuppressant drugs. It's, you know, there's so many different, but I do remember Ocrevus is on that list.
I guess I was thinking, I was just along those lines, and Andrea, you really helped answer quite a bit already, but also on the vein that being someone with MS, aren't you autoimmune suppressed anyway? I mean, don't you have kind of an autoimmune disease? And so you're saying that people with MS are pretty much the same as the general public, but I thought that you were a little your autoimmune system is
No.
already kind of screwed up, or?
Technically if you're not medicated, your immune system is on overdrive.
Yeah, it's full
It's
on.
actually, it's not suppressed. It's
So
actually
it's kind of the
You
opposite?
can barely get sick.
right. It's on overdrive. So
Oh,
it
that's
give
interesting,
you,
because I really don't get
Yeah.
sick the way my husband does. He'll have a cold like,
Exactly.
right next to me and everything.
Yeah.
And, I don't get his cold.
Yeah. Sometimes they say autoimmune diseases, but they
Yeah.
need to rephrase that to immunosuppressed conditions. Because a lot of us have autoimmune diseases, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be more susceptible to anything. Like Eva was saying too, if you're not medicated, your immune system is on overdrive, and that's why it's killing your myelin. So,
Okay. Thanks for answering that.
Of course.
Yeah, knock on wood, since I've been on Ocrevus for 3 years, I haven't even had a cold.
That's
so
awesome.
good. So you're probably right at, you're now even keel with the rest of
Yeah.
I mean, it could change. I don't want to jinx it, but
the webinar I was listening to yesterday, it's like if you were to take a list of precautions and conditions for your population to manage and do during a coronavirus outbreak, and then you made a heading for MS, you could copy and paste. It's the same exact thing. So just like someone that doesn't have MS, someone that does have MS, you have the same precautions. Try the social distancing, only go out when you need to, wash your hands all the time. It's actually the same prescription for someone living with MS. Now, again, you go back to the medications and the question on medications and how that makes it different. And that's part of it is your own personal decision. Part of it is discussions with your doctor. And part of it is what information is out there from the medical community.
Well, at this point, also we're all being isolated, so pretty much everybody's taking precautions.
Right. I mean, right. If we're, if you're over what they say 60, and there's already so many reasons to stay isolated. So, I'll also throw out that the MS Society has the 1-800 number, which is the MS Navigators, and if you do have questions and you can't find the answers, or if you come into a situation where you need help, the MS Navigators are experts in everything MS. They're highly trained. They all are at least a master's degree, go through mega training, and they're truly experts in anything MS. So I always recommend calling them, if there's something that comes up that you can't solve on your own. They might not have all the answers, but they might be able to refer you to someone that does have the answers. So it's always a great resource to use. And then, like I said, our coronavirus update page, which is on the homepage of the MS Society. You could sit and read that forever. And there's even, I believe there's links to some of the webinars that have happened already, which would be a great, since we're all stuck in our houses practically, you could sit and listen to some of those. A lot of really good information, a lot of amazing experts in the field.
So if anybody else has anything else, if not, I thank you so much, Andrea, for popping in. And
anytime, I'd be happy to come back if you guys
with Zoom, it's so much easier.
I know.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm kind of predicting, maybe a lot of you are thinking this too, we're going to see a shift in our culture. I think because we're forced to do online meetings and, as a culture, not just MS Society, but I think especially people living with MS, they might find that actually adding these virtual meetings in sometimes is a good idea, because then you don't have to worry about transportation and, all those things that you can deal with. I mean, I like face-to-face. That's, I love face-to-face, but it's funny because one of my friends and we had like a coffee FaceTime the other day, and I was like, wow, I'm like a young person, because, I have younger kids, and they do all their socialization on, FaceTiming on their computers. And here we are as older people doing this. And I thought how funny it was, but, it could be how our culture goes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that's a scary thought.
It is.
And at the same time, it's beautiful. It feels like so easy to connect now. It's like I'm connecting to people from my high school and stuff, just because they're home. You know, like before I was like, oh, I can't call, they're going to be busy. It's like, people are home. So I also been doing little coffee dates or wine dates,
I know. Isn't that funny?
Like,
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
It also makes me want to check in and make sure everybody's okay.
Exactly. It gives you a reason to kind of touch base with someone who haven't spoken to for 3 years, because there's something in common that you're living through.
Yeah.
And this works for certain personality types. I think if you're more of an introverted person, this actually is right up your alley. Probably more of a struggle for us extroverts, but it'll be interesting to see where we come out of this, where we end up. Okay, well, I'll let you guys go finish your meeting. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Be in touch. You can get my contact information from Eva. If you want to send me an email or anything, I'm always here for you guys. So
thanks, Andrea.
Stay safe, stay well. All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.